Finally. You probably saw this and thought, oh, that's cool, I better keep watching. But why am I looking at a big pile of garbage? Well, this is something I do every month. I like to show off a little bit of the latest pieces I've added to my collection and describe a bit about how I might use them in some of my projects. So stick around and we'll do a little build together at the end as well. So we've got lids. Many types of lids, some generic, some a little bit more fancy. Let's see, here's one that has a rounded top. Yes, very interesting, very rare. Actually, this one really is kind of rare. That's a type you don't see too often. Also, there was this piece, which was the insert in some sort of lid. It just has a lot of cool detail. Yes, this definitely complies with my advanced principles of cylindrical plastic item acquisition. Very cool. As you can see, I finally got these famous junk or scratch building lids. I still don't know what they come off of. I seem to see them in a lot of projects, but now I've got them. They're all mine. I can make all sorts of propellers and engines and that sort of thing. And it's just an interesting little piece from inside of another defunct spray bottle. Actually, from inside of this one, I think. There's some little treasures here inside of this empty floss container. You crack it open, and it's got a little cylinder, a little clear piece. Just this little clear piece could be some sort of mechanical thing. And then the case itself, which could be bunker, spaceship window, some round armor panels, that sort of thing. Oh, another little treasure. A little box of fuses that I found by the lake. Interesting. Here's sort of a non-typical soap pump. I just think that the top part has kind of a cool shape that could be used as armor. It could even be the head of a mech, or a shoulder or a hip, but just sort of a more rare type of pump bottle. You might be wondering why I have this foil tray. This is actually very useful for making little rivets. You can punch out circles of this of various sizes using the back of a drill bit. That's something I learned from, I forget the name of the channel now, but it doesn't matter. I'll just boop, pop it up here, and I'll put it down below. I think that's a tuning peg from a guitar, but it could easily be a drill or a shock absorber, something like that. That's an interesting piece. I think it comes out of a sprinkler system or something, but just very nice detail, thick plastic. It is a little bit damaged, but that just means it could be part of a ruin. Thankfully, there are some little litter bugs in my neighborhood, and once they're done blowing their bubbles, they leave behind the bubble blower circles. But as you can see, they have quite a bit of cool detail, little ridges around the edge. So these could be like the back of a jet engine or some other propulsion, maybe even like the end of a gun barrel. Just a cool little piece. And then of course the bigger one with even more crisp detail. Pretty nice. Definitely something we can get some use out of. Here's a very interesting one, a little Ronald McDonald that I found. He's pretty beaten up, but the entire reason I took him was for this arm, which I think could look like a metal piston or something if cut up and placed into a build. Got these cool sunglasses. This might seem like a little bit of an odd piece to collect. However, having a set of anything is quite useful. These rounded pieces of plastic could actually form shoulder armor on some kind of mech. They could be wings for something. Anytime you have a symmetrical set or a pair of any object, it can be usually pretty useful in a build. So even though that's kind of an odd thing to have, I think it's pretty useful. Onto the Mega Bloks and Mega Bloks adjacent things. I do get some comments saying that this is Lego and not Mega Bloks, but oh, what happens if we... Yes, I think that's how you spell Lego. Anyway, I love Mega Blocks because they're made of a good hard plastic. They take weathering really well. They've got nice right angles. They're really good for building up the structure of various scratch builds. I use them in almost everything. Besides the plain little blocks, I made this fun wheel, but besides these plain style blocks, there's also very interesting little components. I do also have these other generic building block sloped pieces, which can be useful for making like metal bunkers and that sort of thing. Then I've got these Mega Blocks detailed pieces, which there's quite an interesting variety of. Just definitely something that could be quite useful to make greeblies, different mechanical stuff. Very cool. These could be like those could be tank treads, although you need a lot more to make tank treads. They'd also be as like the grips inside of a big pneumatic claw, more neat little things to be used as pistons and various other greeblings. Yeah, that's it. There wasn't really too much this month. Oh, this is interesting. I'm not sure what, this might be Mega Blocks, but look at this cool little treasure chest. Probably perfect scale for like D&D or something like that. Nice little detailed thing. Yeah, so that's it for the parts. Nothing out of the ordinary. Got the lids, got the Mega Blocks. Finally got some more Mega Blocks, so I'm pretty stoked on these. And let's go ahead and use them to build something. So just kind of move this away and we'll get to work. It's time for another voiceover. I decided to showcase my favorite application of Mega Blocks, which is Ork terrain. This will be a small scatter terrain piece, which is a partial wreck of a huge, very large Ork vehicle. I cut a plastic lid in half to make a sunken wheel. I detail it with a smaller lid and the studs trimmed from Mega Blocks. Don't forget to refill your pistolet. Colère. I make some chunky metal panels by filling in Mega Blocks with hot glue and then sealing them with paper. I make this cool curved panel. Neat, right? Everything is attached to the base at an angle to help sell the wrecked and sunken appearance. I continue to layer on various armor panels, including a curved piece from the floss container. Drinking straws are very bad for the planet. They are also hard to use in projects since they're so flimsy. I tuck the straw into the background so it can provide detail but won't have to stand up to any abuse. Using the spout from an olive oil bottle as a fan and various lids, I make this kind of boiler machinery. Time to spackle? Yes, time to spackle. Everything gets filled to unify the surface. I even use this custom spackle soup to flow into smaller gaps and level out the floor. Once the spackle is dry, I file everything down and even add a bit more damage. I use foil discs for raised rivets and my pin drill to create sunken rivets. As always, I have Amazon links in the description for my most common tools and supplies. For the base, I use an assorted mix of sand, which I spray down with alcohol and water down PVA glue. I prime the piece in a dark brown, which is a great foundation for my standard Ork metal painting scheme. If you haven't seen me do this before, here are the steps. Overbrush with a brownish silver. Low areas get a browner silver. Dark wash, red paint avoiding the edges. Black paint avoiding the edges. White orky squares. Rust wash on the metal. Brown wash on red panels. Paint base brown. Airbrush dust. Dry brush dust. Dark wash on base. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed seeing this little build, which actually took way longer than I meant for it to. Oh well, just imagine the size of the original vehicle that this wreck is from. Please share this video and leave me a comment to let me know what you thought of the build, or what item is the most interesting in this month's haul. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. If you liked the build project, or if you just enjoyed listening to me talk about junk, you will probably like the rest of my videos. Don't forget to ring the notification bell, and I will see you in the next one. Welcome back to another episode of Junk Toucher.